Our second to last destination today is the enchanting San Miguel de Allende, located in the highlands of central Mexico. This picturesque city is celebrated for its vibrant culture, stunning colonial architecture, and artistic flair. This historical center, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, boasts beautifully preserved buildings, charming cobblestone streets, a multitude of culinary delights, and a welcoming community. I'm thrilled today to be joined by Greg Gunter, broker of Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Colonial Homes, San Miguel. Greg, welcome to the show. Great to see you.
Hey, Gino, good to see you again too, man. It's fun to be on today.
So, Greg, let's get right into the questions because I'm excited about knowing what you have to say, and so is our entire audience. So, number one, what makes San Miguel de Allende a dream destination? Just what is it, Greg?
You kind of hit the nail on the head a little earlier when you were describing the city. We're a UNESCO World Heritage Village, which is a really fascinating place. I live, work, and play in a UNESCO World Heritage Village. You know, for instance, in Paris, only the banks of the Seine River is a UNESCO heritage site. So the bulk of my city is actually a UNESCO site. I'm proud to say that we have one of the only Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices offices that's a UNESCO facade. We have a very tightly controlled UNESCO facade, so it's fantastic architecture here. We have 480 years of really preserved Spanish colonial architecture. It's gorgeous. We were on the Silver Trail, so we were one of the richest cities in the entire country of Mexico, and that resulted in some gorgeous architecture. I'm an architect myself, so I fell in love with the city the day that I arrived because it's such beautiful architecture, and our guests and our clients love that as well. You can kind of tell that a lot of visitors here love that because we've been named the #1 city in the world by the readers. It's a vote. It's voted by the readers of Condé Nast Traveler for 5 different years. We've been named the #1 small city in the world. Not even Paris or Florence has had that, right? I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is very cool.
That's awesome. And Travel and Leisure has done the same thing. We've just got our 5th designation from Travel and Leisure as the #1 city in the world also. So a lot of people agree with me. It's not just my personal opinion. There's a lot of voters that agree that this is a wonderful place to live. Fantastic lifestyle, great climate. We have the largest English language, social, and cultural infrastructure anywhere in Mexico. So that's what makes us really popular as an expat destination. A lot of my clients are Americans and Canadians coming down, and they love the fact they can go to the opera, the theater, or go out to the 550 restaurants that we have in this little tiny village. By the way, Gino, we're only 150,000 people. We're like a tiny little Sicilian village, right? I mean, it's kind of a small city, but we've got 550 restaurants. So people love that gourmet climate that we have here. Both the dining scene and the weather.
Knowing your background, there could be nobody better to represent us there than you with your, being an architect and just knowing, appreciating everything that's actually there. Let's go to the next thing is, in our market that we have right now in the United States, we got a lot of rule changes. It's an election year, which is always kind of an interesting time. And I know you have a lot of Canadian and American potential buyers and clients out there. Can you talk about what you're experiencing in the market now and what you anticipate for the remainder of the year?
The nice thing is we have a pretty substantial luxury level market here in San Miguel de Allende. Even though we're a small town, about 16% of our market is the luxury level. In the United States, the average is about 7%, and here it's a little more than double that at about 16%. So our luxury level market, and for us being, above $1 million, has remained pretty well. It has stayed actually very healthy, very strong, and is continuing to do so. We anticipate that throughout the rest of the year. Just to give you a little measure of that, Gino, my little city used to sell only about a dozen 7-figure homes a year pre-pandemic. And post-pandemic now, going into our 4th year here, we have been selling about 35 to 40 7-figure homes a year. I mean, reaching up to $5.5 million. For us, that's amazing. For you Californians,
Yeah, Greg, that is amazing. And did you see the big appreciation that we saw here in the United States?
We really have, especially in the luxury market. We're seeing homes that are selling, we can typically see about 30% appreciation here. And I'm from San Diego. I used to see that 35% appreciation in San Diego, and I was amazed by it. And then I moved down here, and it can be very similar here. We have slower years, but we can still see 20 to 25 to 30% appreciation here in the best parts of San Miguel de Allende. It's a great place to invest.
Wow. Okay. Speaking of investing in that, how about some financing and residency options that for U.S. citizens? Because there's a lot of them will be watching this that buy there. What do you see?
I've always kind of laughed at Portugal. They had a great marketing term. They called it the golden visa, right? I mean, it was so funny. Our offices, our Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices offices in Portugal are always touting the golden visa. We've always had a golden visa here in Mexico. We just didn't have quite such a great marketing term for it. It's very easy to get a residency visa in Mexico. We've got a very low threshold. The investment in real estate, for instance, is only about $450,000, más o menos, or an income level or a savings level. So there's three different ways to reach that threshold, but it's very easy to get a residency visa here. And with that, you can save on your capital gains when you might eventually sell a home. Financing is also a lot easier down here than it used to be in years past because we have a new lender here that's regulated by both the United States and Mexico. And so you're getting a lot more safety, a lot more due diligence involved in that, and a better rate, believe it or not. Now, here's the irony. In Mexico, the federal funds rate right now is running about 11.25%. So it's substantially above the United States. So as you might guess, the interest rates down here are also substantially above. So while you guys are running in the fives and sixes there, we're running about 10% for an interest rate here. So many of my clients, they'll actually take out a HELOC, a home equity line of credit on a home in the US, or some of them will even take out a margin loan on an investment account because those are cheaper sources of funds. But the good news is at least there is a good American regulated source of funds down here now. So yeah, that's a good option to look into.
Yeah, I think the luxury buyers that you would have going in there would have that option to get a HELOC or get money out of a different property or things like that and bring it in there and actually save money right off the bat. Wow, Greg. Well, hey, I wanted to, you're always full of such great knowledge about your area. I'm going to encourage anybody that if they have any questions about this to reach out to you because nobody can articulate it better than you. I want to thank you. We're grateful for such an exceptional leader like you to have in our network right there in Mexico.
Thanks so much, Gino. I appreciate being on the show today. It's so fun to catch up with you.